Welcome back. Chaos is unfolding. Uh, yeah. Last video, France, the revolutionaries, got absolutely screwed over because they lost their only way to international aid. But this time, this video is going to be very important for the global politics. So yeah, we are actually going to be having just the straight up UN, not from our time, but it's still going to be called the UN because I'm not creative enough to think of a new name. It's actually going to be based out of now. The first thing is somewhere out of the Americas, however, that's dominated by the Britain, and there's no real true American nation in here, is there? Except for these guys, I guess, and the Aztecs and the Colombians. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's no real American nations, really. Like, what's this thing? Is that Nunavut? Is that Nunavut ripoff? I think that's Nunavut ripoff. No, this is Nunavut ripoff. This is just Yukon ripoff. Alaskan. Yeah, we're gonna call it Alaskan. Alaska's something like this. Anyway, yeah. So at first, the UN does think of moving their headquarters in here somewhere, preferably in a very weak nation, so it won't upset the others. They think of moving it to here. However, it's eventually decided to drain the entirety of the ocean over here. Now I'm joking. Eventually, it is decided to not put it there because these guys again really don't want to get intertwined with all of this stuff. Decided to be put. Then they have, of course, the red team's capital, which everyone says no to because the red team is on its way to becoming a global power once more. With this, a lot of thinking starts happening. There's Morocco. There's this thing. There's the Ivory Coast. There's the blue team even. Eventually, one nation above them all rises. Qatar, obviously, bro. These guys are absolutely god gifted. They're overpowered in this world. These guys could probably just like control the entire world if they wanted to. It's a good thing they don't want to. Yeah, these guys they are an instant hit with most countries because everyone knows they really could not care less. But there is one catch. They and their puppet are forced to leave. Now, the UN is based out of them, like the headquarters are there, but that does not mean it's going to be favoring them. In fact, it actually despises them because they can control global politics and very quickly. That's kind of the job of the UN right now in this world. So, yeah. Also, there are plans by the Qatarian government to shrink down the nation to this, selling the rest to the red team. You may ask why. That's a stupid decision, Qatar. However, firstly, this would still be bigger than Qatar in our world. Secondly, it's because all of this is desert. Literally, what do they gain from this except for like the coastline stuff? But again, they really could not care less. They have all the money they need, and their population is like 22 million, which is very small for this world, as the overall population is, I think, 982 billion right now. So, yeah. Eventually, though, they decide to just shrink down their main country down to just a measly this thing as compared to, the rest, and they do think about just selling all this land. Let me see. Let me see how it looks like. This is what it would look like. The red team. This is what the red team would look like. Eventually, they do say no to this plan, though, because why would you want to lose land? But also, the red team actually asks them to re-annex all of this land into their Arabian superstate-looking thing, because no one in that portion really wants to be a part of the red team, and the red team really doesn't want to rule that portion anyways, because it's again a barren wasteland of sand. I know in our world there's oil, but even in this world, even if they discover oil, where are they going to use it for cooking? They can't do nothing with it. They don't have any machinery. So yeah, the red team, they this is approved by them, and this is how they actually are going to gain a little bit of coastline. They're going to keep more of the coast though, because that's the only useful stuff. So yeah, with the annexation of that stuff, now the UN's goal is to achieve world peace. The problem with that is the Kievan Rus. And so negotiations begin between Moscow and the United Nations. Now, this negotiation is basically the Kievan demand the UN to move the headquarters to Moscow, like right near next to government buildings. However, the red team and the blue team together argue that this would give the Kievan too much power. The UN thing would be right there, and then that's the Kievan capital. And so, after saying no to all of that, one thing emerges. One tiny dot. No, I'm joking. My micronation will never be touched. If that thing is ever touched, it will destroy whatever nation it gets touches it. Because that thing is the core of the series. It's the best it can defeat even the red team. Yeah, but eventually the UN does mandate over this region. Basically, it is under red team administration. However, the UN gets a little more involved in it, mostly because there's been plans to give it back to Caspia. The UN slowly does begin to lose relevance, though, mostly after they're blamed for a very big war that breaks out between the Japanese and this thing. Here's the problem with that. Both of these are autonomous, not puppet states of the Kievan Rus. So the Kievan Rus can't just step in and say, no, stop it, or we bomb you. So that's the problem. And so, yeah, the Japanese do begin the invasion. They're the ones that start this. We can blame the Japs. Or, well, this isn't Japanese. This is Nagasakians. I think that's what they're called. I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like this. Can you please? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't think you can see that. For the purposes of just this, the Japs did not get annexed by the red team. However, for the purposes of this, we're just gonna color them in red because that so we can actually see the difference, bro. Oh wait, none of these countries have capitals. I just realized. Um, uh, these guys have their capital right here. I'm going to say right there. These guys are gonna have it right center. These guys are gonna have it over here, and these guys are gonna have it over here. Okay, so yeah, the invasion begins, and very quickly, Nagasaki troops quickly enter in and capture large chunks of territory. You see, this works so much better. This is why I was thinking to convert the map to like white, and then attacker would be red and defender would always be blue. The problem is most of these countries are named off of what color they are. Like the yellow team or the Crimean Republic. However, we all call them the yellow team. Their real name is Crimean Republic, though. Anyway, yeah, the war is bloody. However, the victor is clear. The Japanese, obviously, or the Nagasakians, obviously. Every time I say Japan, just it's not Japan, it's Nagasaki. It's just because they have Japanese territories. That's why I think of them as Japan. But quickly, the capital falls, and now these guys do something kind of idiotic but genius. They declare war on this green thing. Absolutely crushing defeat for this green thing. They just get absolutely steamrolled. Now, the reason they did this is because the culture is basically the same, so people aren't going to fight. And I'm not gonna lie, they kind of need somewhere to hide if the Japanese go too in. But after capturing all this, the Japanese, because of the UN, are forced to sign a peace treaty or pay a lot of money. No one in this world likes to pay money. So yeah, that's going to get absolutely okay. You see, I can barely even tell the difference between these two countries. Okay, these guys are gonna move their capital over here, though, a little bit inland. These guys are gonna keep their capital down here. These guys are over there, and that seems to be it. So, taking a look at this peace treaty, guys, stick around because this video gets crazy. Why? Because Kievan Rus, that's why. So, yeah, we have this, we have to capture all of this. Actually, no, that's too much. That's not even what they occupied. They're gonna only get the things they occupied. Now, this is a ceasefire, not a peace treaty. They could just, like, whenever they wanted. I don't know if that's how ceasefire works in real world, but that's how it works in this world. They could just, like, go back in and absolutely just cook. However, that would get them some very bad looks from the UN. So with the annexation of this, these guys actually leave the union, the alliance of the Kievan Rus, as the Kievan Rus failed to protect them. Fair enough. The entire point of the alliance was protection, and the Kievan Rus let them get attacked by one of the members of the alliance. However, they are open to rejoining if Japan or Nagasaki is forced to leave. Kievan Rus will not be doing that, considering the Nagasakians are like 10 times stronger than the new revolutionary Qing, I guess. Because yeah, the Qing used to be down here. Then they got invaded and destroyed, and then tormented, and then carved up into like 10 million different countries, one of which are now gone and a part of another. Yeah, these guys are the origin. These guys are the only ones that can really like call themselves the Qing. They're the only ones that can legitimately just straight up say, "I'm the Qing now." I think this is Tibet. Yeah, this is Tibet stuff. I think, bro. What if we give this stuff to like Persia? It looks kind of like Kashmir. Not really. Okay, Kashmir's like over there. I don't know. I don't know enough. Okay, so the Holy Roman Empire. No, is this all your? No, no, your Central European Confederation. They're gonna expand into the Red Team. They're gonna claim to be even more central. They're gonna claim that stuff. Now, not everyone's claiming that stuff. Only Bavaria, because they want nationalism to be born in here, so they're the ones that get viewed as the legitimate leaders of all this stuff. The red team says, "Oh hell no," and pays them off. I'm not gonna lie, that would have worked in any world. The amount of money the red team has as compared to Bavaria would easily have paid them off. And considering literally nobody else wants to get that land, the red team doesn't even need to lose that much money. Either way, though, the red team also manages to kind of like get them to go into France and claim that stuff instead, which makes the French mad. However, what are you gonna do? You're in a civil war. Can't do anything. Actually, these French say bet will actually let you take that stuff, and so together these two launch a campaign of destruction against the French. The French are gone because quickly a push begins, and the centralist ideology completely destroys the French nationalism, while the revolutionaries quickly destroy the rest of France. And now this is a scary sight. So quickly, the French are gone. They used to be so strong. However, Bavaria has been building up their military. So yeah, with the capture of all this land, it is going to affect the way the Kievan Rus now views the Central European thing, kind of. Because they're actually also going to add another member into it. That is going to make the Bavarians a little bit mad, I guess. However, they should have known this was going to happen eventually. The person they add into this is obviously going to be the Netherlands. We're going to get independence as Greater Belgium. I'm sorry, all Dutch people. I just need to give one dub to Belgium. I'm very sorry. Just one dub. That's all they need. They've gotten so many L's on the internet. They need one dub. Let them have this one, chat. Let them have this one. So yeah, this is going to give them a little bit of independence, and it's gonna, I guess, no, that looks horrible. They're going to get independence like this. That looks better. The French are also going to try and just join completely this thing. They're probably going to get declined, which actually they do get declined. They do. They get absolutely node. Why? Because it's why would you add a member that is at risk of being invaded by the red team once more? So with this, I need to find a color for these guys, don't I? How long is this video? There's 16 minutes. Damn, time flies by. I have been yapping this entire video, haven't I? Yeah, okay, that's a good color. Oh, oh my god, I did not know this much time has passed by. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We only had two wars? Really? Wow. Okay. When I said the series were gonna get shorter, I did not mean that much shorter. Yeah, so with this, I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't even know what to say. Before we leave, actually, the red team is going to launch a complete and utter invasion of what they call like actual territories of theirs. That's what they call this land. They say, oh, this belongs to them. The rest of France, they could not care less about, as they say that has been infected with the Kievan Rus's corruption. A little bit rude, red team, but okay, you do you. I'm not gonna argue with the red team. So very quickly, storm through. Blitzkrieg. The French are not holding their defenses against the red team, as once again the red team is OP compared to them. Considering what are they gonna do? Complain to the UN? The red team's already mad at the UN. The UN are not gonna make them matter. So yeah, after this, the UN do suggest a plan. After the red team captures their claims, the red team is given over their claims. The rest of France. This is the interesting part. Rest of France, actually, the UN can't really decide what to do. So that's the interesting thing. So with the independence of this, there's actually two plans. One is going to be the Bob plan, and the other is Jeff, because one guy's name is Bob Martin, and the other one's is Dinga Martin. I don't know. They're both Martins, Bob Martin and Jeff Martin. Hopefully, none of your names are Bob Martin. Now, one person basically says all this gets given to Bavaria, and all this gets given to Greater Belgium. However, the other one calls for the complete dismembering of the French nation into hundreds of its own countries. Obviously, Jeff Martin's idea, which was the other one, is the one that gets accepted, as I do not have enough colors for that. However, firstly, we're going to have the red team incorporating this really quickly. Um, but yeah. So that gets accepted. However, the French people are disgusted at this, as they didn't even lose their entire country. And so they declare war on the Bavarians. Netherlands, or I'm sorry, Greater Belgium. we're just gonna call this the lowlands. The lowlands guys, they're just not going to care. They're gonna say, I fine, we don't care. Bavaria is very petty though, especially considering they're not the top, which is what they imagined themselves to be. Prussia is. So yeah, they're gonna actually they'll get pushed all the way over here. And after this, they're going to sign a peace treaty with the French, denouncing any claims they ever had to be able to annex any French land from this war. The French, they're also going to do another thing that's going to annoy these guys even more. They're going to annex this. I forgot to give the lowlands thing a capital. My bad. One sec. There we go. Actually, it's going to be over there. Yeah. So now this is wild move. Wild move. I'll tell you why it's wild move. No country in this entire thing, like these two, there's countries like these two and Denmark that own territories outside of the Central European Confederation. No one from the outside owns territories in, and none of these guys have law. Even the Netherlands, who just got created, haven't lost territories inside of the um, Central European Confederation. Bavaria is now heavily dishonored in the rest of these European Confederation countries to be the first one to lose land in and allow an outside power to enter inside of the Confederation. Bavaria is actually going to get absolutely humiliated, which is going to make the president, or not the president, guys who control it even more mad. So yeah, with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. France is eventually actually one last thing, just to make it look nicer. Going to lose that. No reason. I just need to make the map look nicer. That looks horrible. Normally it looked horrible. So we're just gonna do that. Does that look better? Kind of. I don't know. Cause so next video, the red team's gonna invade Spain. So how does that look, chat? A united red team. Which, wait for it, cause it will be here. Morocco's probably not gonna lose, but Spain definitely next video. Actually, both Portugal and Morocco are not gonna lose, but Spain is definitely gone. They're on the border now. That doesn't look too bad. Looks fine. Worst comes to worst, they annex the rest of France. Anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That was a little sneak peek into the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe. I hope you're hyped. Like and subscribe. Goodbye. It's 10